good to come off an off weekend, get a little rest, try to recharge your batteries. Hopefully we're getting healthy and more time to look at some film of Wake. They're going to play a Wake team I think is playing very good. They're 3-1, 2-0 in the league. I think throw the ball exceptionally well on offense, make a lot of big plays, run enough to keep you honest and mix in. Got good playmakers defensively, playing a lot of different looks, a lot of blitz pressure. Corners are doing a good job, bringing a lot of pressure on a lot of plays, and not just always to get sacks, but to create run problems. And what they do, and special teams very sound. Kick the ball well, return it well, don't beat themselves, play extremely well there, and have a chance to be able to make big plays. They've run a punt return back for a touchdown, and have some really good skill guys, and do a great job with their big guys, and very big on the offensive line, big as they've ever been. On defense, like I say, constantly mixing up blitzes, lots of different looks on defense. Question?
A lot healthier coming off the bye week.
We hope so. I mean, we'll get out there today. It seems like all the reports back, guys are, banged and bruised and should be much healthier. So that ought to be good.
Specifically, EJ, how's he progressed over the week?
Well, he's been throwing the ball, and we're expecting to practice today. So that brings another big dimension back to you often. Not that Clint wasn't, but I mean, brings some athleticism back to that position. I mean, extreme athleticism.
If you expect him to practice, I assume that means you expect him to
I guess, yeah. We'll see how he goes out there. But he's throwing last week and probably could have practiced. He went out there and practiced some. We didn't do it the whole time. We'll let him keep getting treatment. We thought we'd be ahead, and because he hadn't missed anything and as far as meetings and understand what's going on. But then he, hopefully we'll be ready to roll.
You had a couple of practices with some young offensive linemen. What did you see?
Some guys have made some progress, and guys are going to have to, because I mean we're going to have to use them eventually as we keep going, as we get banged and bruised, and keep gaining them more experience on their calls and how they got to do things. But Bobby, Matthias, and Trey, and Austin Barron, Lovely. I mean, all those guys got plenty of, even Faircloth, because he'd been playing, but those guys getting plenty of action, really getting comfortable in the offense. Because offensive line is one of the places it's hard to make an impact as a young guy. But they're doing a really good job now.
Yeah, but what do you attribute the struggle of the running game so far to?
Just missed some blocks, and missed cuts, and it's not consistent enough to do it. I mean, same thing I've told you every week. Ain't changed. I mean, it's been the same. We've been a block off, and a lot of them make 3 blocks. You make 4 of them, you don't make 1. You got to make all 5 of them. Or we miss it. Can we do block it? We're just missing the cut. Just out of rhythm, out of sync, and we're going to stay committed to it. And got to keep doing it.
How much does EJ factor into that, though? Because obviously he gives you that dimension.
Oh, that changes your whole dynamic. There's one of your big things too. You want to say that when your quarterback's the ability to run and do the things he does, have quarterback runs and options and all the things that he brings to the table. I mean that's a big factor in it too. Puts more pressure back on them. But at the same time, it's closer than it is farther. But I mean we've been in some shootouts and some tough ball games, and last couple games.
Coach, when you have a bye week, a little more time to process things, you have to fight the urge maybe to do some wholesale changes and try things all over again?
No, I don't think you ever do that. We believe in what we've done. What we've done has been proven to work for a long period of time. It's good stuff. We just got to tweak and turn in how we do it, and who we ask to do it, and how we ask them to do it, and how we teach them. I mean, you don't wholesale everything. You never do that. I mean, that's not if you're successful. We've been successful for a long time with it, and for many years with it. So. I mean, we'll just tweak and turn, and that's what we do and get better at it.
When you walked out of the Clemson game, did you feel like they could do what they did at Virginia Tech? I mean, did you feel like that's that kind of team with Clemson's kind of got going right now?
I knew they were a very good team. I mean, Virginia Tech actually played them really well on defense. It looked like they got up a couple plays, played them very well on defense. I guess Virginia Tech didn't move it. I didn't get to see the game. They didn't move it as well offensively. It didn't look like. From what I heard, I never saw the game. But I knew Clemson was a good game, and it did not surprise me if they went in there and won. And that's no slight on Virginia Tech. That did not surprise me one bit.
You got David Spurlock back this week? Is he still?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, he tweaked that knee a little bit, but hopefully a good week of rest, and he'll be back in there today, hopefully, or tomorrow at the least. But he told us this morning, they said he'd be here today.
How much work did you get in on Wake last week?
Good, a lot. Looked a lot of film. Looked a lot of film on them and introduced them to the guys and got to look at it over the weekend and do some things and what they do. What they're doing is very well. They're a well-disciplined team, playing well, playing with a lot of confidence, and playing good football. And they're making all the plays they have to make to win, being very sound and very multidimensional. especially on, like I say, on defense. Lots of blitzing.
How's Greg's knee doing?
Good. He's practiced for 2 straight days. He hadn't had any problems. He was full speed last week. Then he was going the whole time.
What about Bert? Does it look like Bert?
Yeah, he should be healthier. He should hopefully get out there and go. I mean, we'll wait and see. I mean, he was still just a little gimpy, just that final touches, you know, but hopefully he'll be out there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that yet. But that's still in the wait. But Greg's fine. He went all last week.
With Rashad, obviously he's made some big plays that have stood out. The other things, is he getting it? As a freshman receiver, it's always hard maybe to adjust.
He's getting the more and more of it, where you can put more and more on him, and not just when he's getting it or whatever. And it's great you understand that, because that's a big part of putting them in game. When they got to push correct, when they got to block, how they got to read, how they got to side adjust, how they got to do that. And there's more to it than just the balls that go to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he's getting a lot more. He's a very intelligent guy. He's doing much better job in it. We can move him around and do some things.
And you trust him now to be out there for large portions
Oh
of
yeah,
the game.
yes.
How much has Nick O'Leary progressed since camp has ended to now?
Done a really good job, especially because he missed a lot of time doing camp. He was another one who was injured doing camp, missed a lot of time, and getting back in the group. And he's really improving his blocking, which is getting better and better. He's learning to do that. But, he's catching the ball. He understands routes. He understands how to get open. And like I say, football makes a lot of sense to him. Has a really good feel for those things.
Nick obviously has a very fiery personality, to say the least. Does he need to kind of get out of his own way and just go out there and play sometimes?
In what way?
He tends to be a little emotional at times and tends to
By
speak.
who? Nick's quiet as heck. Really not. Don't say 2 words. Nick's not a man of many words, seriously. I mean, he'll look, yes sir, no sir. What I'm doing. I mean, he has a lot of pride in what he does. He's a tough guy, but Nick's not a guy who puts a lot of demeanor on him. He carries a lot in himself, but I mean, Nick's not a vocal, loud yell. I mean, Nick's a man of very few words, actually. Actually, very quiet when you say it. I mean, a lot of 1-2 word answers, not in disrespect, but yes sir, no sir. I mean, what he's doing. I mean, he doesn't get like that. I think he's played pretty well. I mean, he's done a good job, and especially his assignments and what he's learned to do. Best for a true freshman. Because tight ends even more so than receiver, because you got blocking, you got protection, and you got routes. I mean, you got a lot going on. I've been very pleased with him from that part.
Can you see Carlos taking Greg's spot? Obviously, they're listed as co-starters, as kick returners. I'm talking about.
If he's not healthy, but I like what Carlos does too. Or he could be in there. We'll see.
Still a battle, even if Greg is healthy?
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see how they go today and how they feel. What kind of returns we're going to do and all that. Everything up. You gotta remember, 5's pretty special. That ball in his hand now.
Coach, there's been a few disappointments just here and there throughout the season so far, but the 3 biggest things that you learned about your team so far this season, because there's a lot of the season left.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot. We'll compete very hard, very tough, capable of playing with anybody. We'll find ways to fight back in the game. We won't give up and make plays. I mean, went to hostile environments, handled with a lot of young guys. I got some young guys that are very mature. I think I'm anxious to see how they progress and grow. Like I say, I still think we have a very good football team. I mean, I really do. I mean, your call or a play or something else, a play or two, from being where you want to be, but that doesn't put you there. You have to understand how to get there. And our kids have kept a great attitude. I think that no matter what's happened, they've kept a great attitude, practiced well, and are fighting, looking to get better.
Tanner Price is obviously off to a great start. What impresses you about him?
Well, first of all, they got a good scheme. I think they're good at wideout. 3 good wideouts. They're playing very well. 2, 3, and 18 are doing a great job. He's got poise in the pocket, understands where he's going with the ball, able to scramble, keep plays alive. He made a lot of plays last week, 3rd down long, and have blitz and step out and be able to find somebody and make some plays on the run, ad-lib. Just very good instincts and accurate. His arm strength has gotten much better throwing the ball down the field. I've been very impressed. He's impressive on film. You watch him. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Can we see a little bit more of Jermaine this weekend? I didn't see much of him so
Good.
far.
I mean, he had a couple. Got to keep playing better and doing the things he's got to do. But he was the series. He was in the game last week. Just we just happened. We'd be throwing it by the time we got going in it, and that time. So we could.